What's going on, guys? Joe here with Odyssey Offroad. Back in the garage today. Today we're gonna do a little something with the WR250. So you guys are some of you guys are gonna yell at me in the comments. I can feel it coming. But we're gonna put a lowering link on the WR250. The reason we're doing this is I mentioned it in my last ride video. The biggest issue I have is the bike's just too damn tall. So I gotta get it down a little bit, some way or the other. Riding obviously is no problem, but when you get into a precarious situation, or you got to turn around tight trail with uneven terrain, sometimes I got to put my foot down and there's no ground, and over I go. So I got to do something to try and help get it low to the ground. So we're gonna try it, and I understand the possible negatives of it, but I also understand there could be some positives to it too. Some people that put them on say they love it the way the bike is after that. And obviously some people say there's negatives. So for what I paid for it, I didn't get an expensive one. I went with like a $50 one from Amazon. I'm supposed to lower it 1.25 inches, just about. So we'll see how it does. Part of this too is going to be if I get it, if I lower it to 1.25 inches and it's good for me, then down the road I can either get a better I can invest in a better branded lowering link, or I can take the whole suspension to a suspension guy and have him lower it the right way internally. But I figured, let me try it this way first. Worst case scenario, it's a 10-minute job. I take it back off. It's no good, no harm, no foul. Take it back off, put the original link back on. And also too, we'll see if it does work out and how it is. We'll install it. We'll go take it out on a ride. We'll ride it through different types of conditions. Hills. There's not too many big hills around here to climb, but a little bit more, traverse some more rougher terrain. Fast paced, like fire road stuff. See how it tracks. Do some small jumps with it and see how it handles. See what it does. Like I said, worst case scenario, we'll take it off. But if it works out, I know there's plenty of people in the same shoes as me, short, and have a hard time touching the ground. These Yamahas are no joke at all. So even with the WR and the YZ250FX, which is 11 millimeters lower than the YZ250F motocross bike, 11 millimeters is like, it's less than half an inch. So the bike's still like a 37.6 inch seat height. If you're 5'6" like I am, it's a tough time. I'm gonna set the bike up. I'm gonna show you guys with the camera how I am sitting on the bike right now with the sag set to 100 millimeters, which is the max setting in the owner's manual for the bike. It says between 90 and 100. I have it at 100 to get the most out of it. So I'll show you where I touch the ground with it as it is right now, and then we'll get the link installed and we'll see the difference. We'll also measure to the top of the seat, on the kickstand, stand holding it up off the stand, and then after the link, and see the difference and see if it's worth it. So let me turn the camera around and show you what we got, and then we'll get the bike set up on the stand and we'll get going. So this is what I got. I got it from Amazon. There was this company. I'll be honest with you, off the top of my head, I can't. It's probably something from China, but it's a solid piece. Seems decent quality. For $50, it's worth a shot. Like I said, if it works out, great. I'll invest in a Yamaha link, like a better brand. Those are like 150. It's worthwhile just for the sake of doing this video, to inform some of you who are maybe in the same situation. So we'll get these bearings, a little extra grease in them. We'll get it installed. But first we'll get the bike measured, and then we'll get this thing in. We'll see where we sit. All right, guys, so we got the bike standing up here. I got a tape measure. I'm going to measure to the top of the seat height with the bike just standing regular as it is on the side stand. And then I'll hold the bike up straight, and we'll see where it is, the seat height is, with it's on its own weight. So now I have the gut seat you see on here. This is the standard height seat. This is not a low seat, so it's not affecting anything, any of the numbers. So we got on the stand here, it's about 37 inches right here. We'll just go even with the pegs. That's where we'll measure to kind of, I guess we could do a measurement to the back of the seat as well. So we get 37 with it on its stand, and on its own weight, we're about 37 and a half. So 37 and a half inches to here. That's a tall bike. Let's see what we got at the back of the seat. The back of the seat, we're almost 38 inches. So let's, I'll sit on the bike. I'll show you guys what it looks like. You'll see me barely tippy-toeing. And you get an idea for yourself, and then we'll do the same thing once we get the link installed. So you'll see I am barely tippy-toeing here. Now if I'm tippy-toeing on this side, I can't touch both toes at the same time. I'm tippy-toeing on one side only, and then to the other. So I'm like, and then with the boots on, your boots, you can't straighten your ankles. So I'm really like barely touching the ground with the boots. So with my one foot on the peg, I can get about right there. Typically what I have to do is slide off the bike like this to when I come to a stop and hang off of it. But that's not as easy when you got boots on. So that's why we want to get this thing down a little bit. So let's get the link installed and let's check it out from there. All right, guys, got her installed. I'm gonna go over a couple quick things with you. You guys should know how to do this. If you have a dirt bike, you need to take that stuff off to grease all the bearings in there anyway. So you should be doing this regularly, but I'll go over it with you quick. You do not need to take anything else off. Just put it on a stand, get the tire off the ground, rear tire off the ground a little bit. And then you're just gonna take this bolt off and then this one. To get the nut off for this one, on the other side, you're gonna have to take off the chain roller, the rubber chain roller. Take that off. It's a 10 and a 12 millimeter, 10 in the front, 12 in the back. Take that off to get out of the way, and then you're gonna need a 19 millimeter wrench on that side. This side, you can use a 19 millimeter with an impact gun to get it off, and then torque them down to 59 foot-pounds when you put it back in. Here's the tip, okay? So again, these are 59 foot-pounds. These are the only two you need to take off. If by some reason you take that one off by mistake, that one there is 52 foot-pounds, the one above it. That goes to the other little piece for the linkage there, to the swing arm. That's 52. Lower shock bolt's like 30-something. These are 59. These are the only two you need to worry about. When you take this off, you can't just pop this one in. There's a sleeve in there in the front. I'm going to show you. Out of the old one, you got to slide out. Here, there's a sleeve that goes in there. That sits, the bolt just doesn't go through and right on the bearings. There's a sleeve that goes through. The bolt goes through the sleeve once it's installed. When I purchased this, I had to laugh because there was only like 3 or 4 reviews, and two of the guys or gals maybe, but two of the people said, yeah, it works as advertised, good quality, lowered my bike, yada yada. The third review said the hole was too big, the bolt didn't fit, bad product, whatever he said. I knew right away what he did. He didn't take the sleeve out of the original one and put it in the new one. You got to transfer that part over. So just don't forget to do that, or else this is the bolt you're going to see is not going to fit in there. The sleeve just slides right out and slide into the new one. Make sure you grease them, and I did. And you'll see here, that's the roller bearing, chain roller, I should say. You got to take off. It's a 10 millimeter in the front, 12 in the back. So I can tell you already, it definitely did it as advertised. I can't say for sure. I didn't measure, but just how far the rear tire is off the ground now. So it's tucked up now more. Tells me that it's probably going to give us what we want. How it rides, that'll be a different story. We'll figure that out later. But let's get it off the stand, take some measurements. All right, guys, so I can tell you right now it's working already because I pulled my stand out and the stand was wedged in the bottom. Usually when I drop the stand and then get it on its side stand, off the side stand, and I'm holding the bike up straight, there's about a ½ inch or so where I can slide that out. And now it was kind of tight in there, so I'm going to have to adjust my stand to compensate for that. So it's definitely lowered the bike. And I can kind of see just by looking at it how the seat's kind of like this now. A little more straighter across. So let's get the tape measure on it and find out officially what we got. All right, so on the side stand here still, we are at about, I'm gonna say 36.25 here. So let's get it off the side stand and we'll see what we got here now. And then we'll also measure the back like we did before. I'm gonna say 36 5/8. So here, approximately, you know, just eyeballing it. And then the back, I think before the back was the highest was like 38. So now we're at back of the seat is 37. Right here is about 37 inches. So let's another test. Let's sit on it, see what we're looking at. All right, here's the moment of truth. Okay, yeah, it's definitely lower. I can now touch both sides without having to wobble back and forth. So that is an improvement. Let's see with 1 foot on the peg. Okay, so with 1 foot on the peg, I can get my foot down quite a ways more. Sitting on the back of the seat, yeah. So it used to be that if I wasn't sitting up here and I was anywhere near the back of the seat, I couldn't touch the ground at all. So now, holding the bike up straight, definitely gained that inch, I'd say. Definitely feels like it. So I'm definitely touching the ground more. Definitely easier to touch the ground. I noticed this swinging the leg over too. So, oh yeah, definitely. You can tell getting off it and on it. It's just not as high up here to swing the leg over. And after a long day of riding, these old hips don't swing the leg over like that. So, I mean, you can definitely feel the difference. Yes, I can put a foot on the peg now. Yeah, I'm flat footing here now on the one side. Try this. It's just coming off a little bit. I foot on the peg and I'm almost flat footing now. With hanging off as much as I did earlier, where I could still only, the balls of my feet. And I can almost flat foot it, which is nice because if you lean in over on the trail a little bit, yeah, it's definitely better, significantly. I would say it's probably close to what my X Trainer was. I would say the X Trainer may be a tad lower, but this is definitely closer to that now. So, all right, guys. So there you have it. We did some measurements, and as you've seen before, we did it with the bike standing on its own weight. Measuring here, center of the seat, it was about 37.5 inches. Now we're close to 36.5, or 36 5/8, 36.5. That's what I eyeballed it at. And then the back of the seat prior was about 38. Now it's at 37. So we got about an inch lower. If I had gone with the lower gut seat, which is about, I think it's 5/8 of an inch lower than the stock one, we'd be probably in the sweet spot. So we'll see how this handles. Now the next step is, which we're gonna save for another video. Sorry to disappoint you guys. We're gonna save that for another video. We're gonna take it out on it because I want to do a nice, good test ride. I don't want to make this video really, really too long. Some people have short attention spans. They don't want to watch 48-minute videos. So we'll try and keep this one shorter so we can take our time on the ride and really take it through a lot of different scenarios and put it through its paces and see how she does. But nice thing is the side stand on this bike from the factory, it really had a lot of lean. It's a shorter side stand. Now with the link on there, it's still got enough of a rake. Enough of a lean, I should say, that it's not going to fall over or blow over. It's about what my Beta was. The Beta stood about like this. I remember when I brought this home, one of the first things I noticed was how much more it leans on the stand. Then the Beta did. The Beta like stood up straighter. So now it's still really good. It's not going to fall over. Side stand works perfect. I'm very anxious to get it out on the trail, test it out. So, you know, they advertise 1.18 inches, I think, so that it lowers the bike, and I'm eyeballing it about an inch. So it's probably right amount, right as advertised. 1.18 would be just shy of 1.25 inches. So I may be getting that. You know, just eyeballing it, having a hard time telling that. It's not the most scientific method, but you can get an idea. And I can see visibly too, the bike's lower. You can see the back of the bike is straighter now, where it really was up like that quite a bit. This may actually benefit the way the bike handles, because one of the things with these bikes from the factory, they're set at 8 millimeters of rise on the forks up through the fork clamps, and a lot of people push that down, and that helps high speed stability, they say. So now this is kind of should have the same effect with lowering the back a little bit. You're changing your head angle a little bit there. So anxious to get it on the trail. I'm sure you guys are too. Stay tuned for the very next video after this upload. Will be that. We'll get it out there. We'll put it through its paces. We'll test it in a myriad of conditions, and hopefully we can give it a 2 thumbs up. Maybe if it works out really well, you know, maybe down the road we'll just get a lower seat, and then that might get us right where we want, as opposed to getting the full suspension lowered. I don't know though. This is just the first step in a series of, you know, tests and ownership of the bike. You know, we'll see what happens. Life of a short person, you know what I'm saying? So this is Joe at Odyssey Off-Road. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. There's plenty of you guys coming back, watching the videos over and over that aren't subscribed. YouTube's ratting you out. They're telling me. So subscribe. Doesn't hurt you guys. Doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out a ton trying to grow the channel. Smash the like button. Leave a comment below. You got any questions, let me know. I'm more than happy to try to answer them if I can, if I have the answers for you. And yeah, this is Joe at Odyssey Off-Road. Catch you guys out on the next one. We'll see you on the trail.